going to be on here today. He gave me a blood oath that he would be on the call today. But I knew he was going to be out of town at a big meeting out in the oil field somewhere, so he was hopeful he'd still have connectivity to be able to get on it, but we'll see. What happens when you're out in the middle of the Bakken? Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We've only got 2 or 3 people that have not made it on yet. Mike, do you want to kick this off?
Sure. I have no problem. Hey guys, thanks for everybody coming today. We've got an awesome presentation by Mark Gilpin. Then Larry and I just want to run through a few things, but we want to do Mark's presentation first. And one of our goals for moving forward with these is that we really do our best of keeping these to 30 to 45 minutes max. So with that being said, Mark, are you ready to go?
We are ready. I'm just looking in here for you so I can give you pass control to you. Do you have an actual presentation or no?
It's verbal only.
Okay. Well then I'll pull up what you already sent me, which I have right here. How's that?
That's perfect.
Okay. Go ahead, guys.
All right, well, I'll start. We also have Adam here, and as usual, I know nothing about what I'm talking about, so that won't surprise anybody. But actually on this product, Adam has kind of taken the initiative, and we've had a couple clients over the years. We've done some, I'd call it digital signage. It's all been indoors, and I think a couple clients ago, Adam ran into a new vendor called Bright Sign, and it seems like they are very close to what we are looking for the majority of this type of application. Let me back up a little bit. I said something at our last conference call about digital signage, and I personally think this is just one little niche in that whole segment, but I think we each should be looking, and maybe some of you are way ahead of us, but if you go to any major city that has lots of visitors coming to town that they're trying to get their attention, you'll see tons and tons of digital signage in front of their buildings. And I noticed that, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it just seems like it's going to hit other cities like ours, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And it hasn't hit in a big way here yet, but it's definitely picking up steam. You know, most of us do IP cameras. We may have to use a lift, a man lift from time to time outdoors. And it seems like, in my opinion, that same type of equipment lends itself to us doing outdoor digital signage. So I'm hoping somebody else can help us with the outdoor part, but if you can bear with us, Adam may give you a couple details about what we did on this indoor project. Is anybody with us so far?
Yeah, I think we're all with it.
Good, okay. I didn't even hear anybody breathing, so. Okay, here's Adam.
Hello, everybody. This is going to be fairly quick and informal, and I apologize for that. I've had some things take priority over the last 7 to 10 days, and I've been out of the office at a job site. So this is going to be a shoot from the hip kind of overview of what I've come across, particularly with BrightSign. I don't know what everyone's background is with digital signage. I have some experience with a couple of different manufacturers, to include BrightSign, which you can see the website scrolling on their computer monitor there. But we've also worked with BurstPoint, which is also a video distribution manufacturer, as well as Tightrope Media Systems and their carousel servers. And we did an application this summer that consisted of about a half a dozen displays throughout it was actually a church facility. And the most comfortable solution I had used at that point was from BurstPoint. And I gave them the specs and the layout of what we're trying to do, and it came back in the ballpark of about $50,000 to just get some digital signage going up on 6 to 7 LED monitors. And that's really, really expensive, especially for a church budget. So I did some more digging and some more research and came across BrightSign, and the equipment that we sold retails for about $350 per monitor. So we ended up doing the whole system for a fraction of the cost of what we did for BurstPoint. So that's one thing right out of the gate that BrightSign has to offer is extremely price competitive compared to a lot of the other manufacturers out there. They also have a very large product line. We actually used, I refer to them as display engines. We use their HD220, and just to kind of give you an idea of how the whole system works, it's an IP-based system, and at each display, or at each television, mounted behind the monitor is actually what is referred to as the HD220 is a display engine. And that actually is what drives the presentation or the video or the images, whatever you're displaying on those TVs. And then back at the head end, as far as BrightSign goes, there's actually a free software download that's used to organize and distribute all the content to the different displays. When we are creating a display, tend to think of it as a blank canvas. And when we take that canvas, typically your resolution is going to be like a 1920 by 1080. What we do then is kind of slice that into different zones, and a typical display may have a crawler zone at the bottom, and then maybe a right or left sidebar, and then the main content area. And one of the most crucial things that I try to articulate to a client when we're talking about digital signage, and if anyone has any more experience in this, I'd like to learn more about it. But the purpose of the system is not to create graphics in a really cool layout and videos. The purpose of the system is just to organize and distribute that. So when you're talking to the end user, try to make it clear to them that the graphics and the video and all the images, that all comes from somewhere else. Maybe that's fireworks, maybe that's Photoshop, or some sort of graphic design software. But when you get into the carousels and the BrightSign and the BurstPoint or the Four Winds, when we're getting into the actual digital signage distribution, this is just merely the driving force behind all of it to organize those graphics and put them in a logical display, and maybe put some time sequences behind those so that it's a little more pleasing to the eye than just, a still image or a PowerPoint coming up. So that's one of the most crucial things that I try to get across to the end user is the purpose of this system is not to create the graphic files, it's just to organize them and display them in a very pleasing way.
Is there any particular, I didn't see you guys, are you guys on the presentation here?
Yeah, I think I signed this in as ATG.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
Acronym.
Okay. If you want to is there any portion of this website that you want to take us through? I'm getting real dizzy looking at this thing.
Yeah, that slider just keeps going. Not particularly. Like one thing that I really enjoy about, I guess, the website and the company itself is under the support. It's basically a forum where anyone can go in and pose a question and see, like if you want to go to the FAQ section or the support overview even. It's kind of an open forum where you can go in and see a lot of people have had the same questions you have had, so you don't have to sit there in a queue on the phone or waiting for a chat to open up. But you can just go ahead and do a search, and then you'll see people's replies, what has worked for them, what hasn't worked for them. It's just a pretty handy thing to have.
Oh.
If I can,
first page.
if I can jump in there, when Adam says, "Hey, I think we need to supply this product to clients," he doesn't say that lightly, and you guys probably can't tell that over the phone, but he checks into this and checks their support, which he was just talking about there, and that support, as we've all learned over the years, is critical after the fact. So I can assure you we've had good luck so far with their support. It doesn't prove anything for the future, but to date, it's been good.
Adam, do you have a contact at Bright Sign?
I do. Let me.
Just email it to me sometime if you would.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll talk to them to see if they might be interested in coming to our convention in Nashville.
Hey, Adam, I have a question for you. On the display engine, that HD220, does that sit on the network? So does that just take a category cable to it?
Yeah, it does. You can just hang it right there on the network. It has the network card into it. It also has HDMI output. And then the way you're actually going to configure them, there's actually an SD card slot on it, and you just write the config file to the SD card, slide it in, power up the unit, and away it goes.
And then you have basically a server that resides at the head end that has the software on it. And then
exactly. And it can actually just be a Windows 7 professional machine too. It doesn't necessarily have to be a server OS. So,
okay.
And actually, we have this at 2 clients right now. I think both of them are operating on a workstation that's used for other daily activities, so nothing dedicated for it.
And you can take then and write a program and upload it to any of the 220s that you have on the network?
Exactly, yep. Okay. And there's scheduling features in there too, so you can have it expire at a certain time or certain date. And you don't have to distribute to all the displays. If the certain part of the building only needs this information, and while the other half needs different information, you can mix and match and have them all display unique presentations, or it can all be synchronized.
And I know we've struggled with some of this in the past, because Joe and I looked at this years ago, and one of the problems was just actually developing the content. And so I definitely understand what you were saying, but does Bright Sign have like a startup package for dummies type thing that can at least get somebody out of the box, get this thing up and running, so it gives a little information on their location, what they do, and so on? Or do you need a designer that can come in and they're the ones that you really need to get anything to display?
No, they do have I think they call it a quick start kit, where it gives you all the examples of how to fill out the configuration to program the units themselves. And then it even gives you 3 or 4 templates that you can then go in and edit. But as far as going forward, it could be as simple as having the end user create a PowerPoint, and then from PowerPoint you can export those into JPEG files and then use those as your slides. A lot of people find that easier because they can just do some of the default backgrounds and change the fonts in PowerPoint, turn that into an image, and then import that into their presentation. Some of the you can get as fancy as you want with it, I guess. Some people are able to, they may have a graphic designer or a web developer on staff who can go through and, slice everything so that the background's one image, but really it's four separate images. It just, to the human eye, it looks like one. And then you can get kind of really creative and fancy with it that way. But it's extremely intuitive. There's quite a few demo videos on the website as well of how to create a basic presentation. You have your images, you just drag and drop them where you want them to display at and how long you want them to be there.
Excellent, good information. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
Well, we would like to apologize if the pricing of this is underneath everybody's budget. That was a joke.
I laughed, I got it.
It really surprised us that you could get these capabilities for that price range, and it's good news to us. So we do realize this is just one segment of digital displays and signage, so that's pretty much the presentation, unless you got some other questions.
No, I don't. I just want to throw out to the group, hey, if anybody runs across the outdoor digital, I think that's something we need to keep our eye on moving forward as well. So if anybody comes up with a suggestion for that avenue that maybe they've used or know someone that's used, hey, throw it out to the group if you would, please.
And we have done quite a bit of looking for that. I think over time we'll find something, but it sure helps if somebody has already had some experience. One idea you see all too often is just an enclosure that you put outdoors and put an indoor display unit in, and we're not crazy about that idea.
Especially not with the temperatures a lot of you guys have had this year.
I knew you'd bring that up.
I mean, it worked fine here in San Diego.
Just rubbing it in.
Sorry. Anybody have anything else they'd like to ask these guys? I want to thank Adam for, I know how very busy you were in talking to Mark about it yesterday. Thanks for coming in out of the field and doing this for us. Really appreciate it. And Mark, I think you were right. Boy, if Adam said to me, I feel really strongly about this, yeah, I think I paid attention too.
He usually thinks before he talks, just kind of the opposite of me.
That's okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to throw at Adam while we have him on the phone and have him captured?
These guys, this is Harry, are these guys selling these products to companies like us at a different price than that's listed on the website, or is that?
Yeah, what you see on the website, I think, is probably their retail price. I think, and don't hold me to this, but I think it was something like 30 to 40% off of what they're showing there on the website is what, if you get set up as a dealer, is what you'd be paying.
That's normally the case.
I have a question. This is Marcelo. Adam, when you guys sell these systems, what about updating the information? Is that something that the client does himself, or you guys do it and sell some type of maintenance program for that?
When you are referring to information, you're talking about the content that's being displayed?
Yes, the content. The content.
The end user, in my experience, is 99% of the time responsible for that, only because we don't know what's changing. We've done it in several schools. We don't know what's changing on a daily basis there, so it doesn't make sense for us to try and contact them every day to make sure everything's up to date. We train a handful of people that are competent enough to go in and understand the system and make the changes. Now, if there's an issue with it not working and some troubleshooting needs to be done, then we absolutely go in. But as far as the day-to-day content changes, the end user is responsible for that.
Maybe there's an opportunity for a partner plan of some sort here for recurring revenue.
Yeah, there very well could be.
Guys, one other thought on this. This is a relatively small project or two we've talked about, but we've also done video distribution, like Adam just mentioned, in some schools. And he mentioned a couple brands earlier. One brand that we've used is called V-Brick, and they're pretty well known nationwide and used in a lot of school systems, and those sales are usually pretty large. Many times it's the whole school building or district at the same time, and substantial jobs.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Adam. Thanks,
Yep,
Mark.
no problem.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks everybody for staying awake.
No, it was great. Loved it. Thanks, Adam, for sending that to me so quick. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem at all.
Right. We'll move on here and get to the rest of our things. Yeah, to reiterate what Mike said in the very beginning, wanted to talk about length of calls, which now it looks like we might go over just a hair, but we're talking about keeping these calls to about 40 minutes max if we can. So we want to march through some stuff. We really didn't get started till almost 10 after, I think. So, but there's just a few things that we'd like to go. Mike, you want to go ahead and continue on here?
Sure. You want to pull up the that new tag advertising campaign for the visitor management system?
For which one? Maybe we're talking about something different.
Yeah, help me out here.
Okay, here. I'll just show you what I thought it was. We have a new marketing campaign in our marketing function here.
And see if it was the same one that Brian and I were working on the other day.
Okay. New to here is surveillance.
Yep, that's it.
And video conferencing, but surveillance in particular. So we have a new marketing campaign on surveillance in here too. I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention on the call. Mike, is that what you were talking to Brian about?
Yeah, we went through these four, and I think each one of them is it's a great cutting edge email that we can send out from a marketing standpoint that, definitely just gets us talking to the customers on, additional products that we offer. And I think it's a big plus. So, everybody, if you're not using the marketing campaign through Tag, I suggest, jumping on to it, because AJ makes it very, very easy. He'll walk you through this, help you get things set up, and then it's as easy as just a few mouse clicks to get these added to your next campaign. So he does a really good job. I suggest you guys looking into this. And if you're not working with IP cameras or IP surveillance today, or visitor management systems, I definitely suggest that you look into it. It's a very profitable piece of every pie that we go out and talk to a customer about, because it just flows into what we do. When we're talking voice over IP communication systems, infrastructure, securities, it just all flows.
And I'm working real hard to bring at least a couple of companies to Nashville as exhibitors on the surveillance side of the equation. So hopefully I can get a couple of those guys to pop free and come out. Okay.
That's good. Then we want to move on. Why don't you hit the 2014 tag training calendar too, Larry, while we're here.
Okay.
So Jan's been busy putting a lot of stuff up there. Big thing that we want to remind everybody is we have a live meeting in March.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and that's for our Apollo. That's on the 13th and 14th, and that's going to be in San Diego. Once a year, our live meeting for our Apollo group will be in San Diego.
That's it. So if everybody could get registered as soon as possible, that would be awesome. I think we've got Jake. I think you're registered, right?
Could be, I'm not sure, I'll double check.
Yeah, I think you are, and I think Dave Hyman is, and Harry. I think you're registered as well. True?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if everyone could get, it just really helps Janet to prepare for this and to solidify our rooms at the best rate we can get. So there's a lot of reasons why. It helps in planning for the whole event. So if everyone could get registered as quickly as possible, we'd sure appreciate it. That way you can get a better look at what your airfares are going to be too. Okay.
And we also want to talk about setting up our conference calls through June.
Let me grab my notes also.
So we have some dates, Larry, that you and I put together. We wanted to run it past the group just to make sure it was good for everybody. We're going to have, in February, we have another call on February. We were looking at the 11th at 1 o'clock, same time. That's Pacific Standard Time.
I'll go to the calendar as we go through this. So we're looking at Feb 11th for the next call. Is there anyone that absolutely cannot make that call? Okay. Okay, we'll get that one up. And then March, of course, we have a live meeting here. Were we going to do one prior to that, Mike?
Just no, we were just going to do the 211 was going to be the conference call, and then the live meeting goes 313 and 314.
Okay.
Then next we go into April.
I think we're doing one prior to Nashville, correct?
Yep, 4/8.
And prepare, if you hadn't registered for Nashville by then, we'll probably hound you a little bit.
Absolutely.
We should be up and moving with that within the next week to 10 days for registration. Maybe even sooner. Okay.
Then 4/8 at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Then we have the convention. Then we talked about in May, looking at 5/20. And guys, we're just trying to get some house cleaning out of the way for this call, so we don't have to go over this on these future calls. And that was going to be at 1. Yep, 5/20 at 1 o'clock as well. And then moving into June, it would be 6/17 at 1 o'clock. And Larry and I will put out an email to everybody and kind of put these dates. And if, as long as we don't get a lot of pushback, I think we should move forward with these dates and times.
Yep. Everybody cool with that? Anybody not?
Sounds good. Yep, they all work for me.
All right. Cool.
Okay, the next thing that we wanted to do is talk about presenting at the next, we have 5 meetings through June for February, March. Well, March we'll talk about separately for our live meeting, but we want to talk about February, April, May, and June. So that's, a quick 15-minute presentation. If we get some volunteers, that would be awesome. So we have an opening for February.
What topics are you looking to do?
You know what? I think we're open. We haven't had. I'd love to hear something on MSP from some of our guys who are really running MSP heavily today. Terry, did I say that out loud?
Want to hear about backups?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
All right. You can put me down for that.
All right.
And that was on what subject? I missed it.
Backup, data backup.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Harry.
Sure.
Okay, how about for April 8th?
All right, come on, guys.
Well, I'll do something. This is Jerry, but pick a topic.
How about racquetball?
Well, we don't have enough time for that.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
So put me down and we'll figure it out by then.
Okay.
Hey, that's good by me.
And you know what? After the call we have on the 11th, we very well may be able to come up with something that has come to the forefront. Okay?
Sounds good.
Right? May 20th.
Yep, May 20th.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you and Steve want to share some of your knowledge and stuff that you guys do out there on some particular subject material?
Pick a topic.
Take the slot and we'll help you with the topic.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a slot, but you got to figure out we're pretty new to this, guys. So.
No problem. It's easy. Chris, I'll help you.
No, we're new to the topic side. I haven't been fully indoctrinated yet.
No problem.
By that date, Chris, you will have been to Nashville to our annual convention, and you will have been to a live meeting with your group. So you're going to feel a lot more comfortable by then. That's why I threw it out to May. You'll feel a lot more comfortable by then and know pretty much where everybody's coming from by then.
Yeah, we'll pick a topic by then. That won't be hard.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Steve will love to do the presentation.
Now, hey, Chris, you're already getting the hang of this tax stuff.
There you go.
Don't have time for the call. You get time for the presentation.
That's right.
Hey, Mark brought Adam in today. There you go.
Yep.
And then we have, the last one we have is June, guys, June 17th.
Let's see, who can I pick on? And see, here's the beauty of it. I haven't been on a whole lot of these calls, so I don't know who's done them and who hasn't. So that's kind of everybody's favor. Hey, Don.
Don's had the pleasure of doing 2 already. I think somebody else should have an opportunity.
Don's given 2 pretty good ones, too.
Okay. All right. How about Jake, then?
That June date's a little bit up in the air for me, but I'd be willing to do something maybe after that in the early fall sometime.
Okay. How about John?
June isn't any good. I'm not going to be at that call.
You're going to be gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Is there anybody from CTS Technologies on the line? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Dave Hyman will volunteer for June.
Yep, I think that's a good idea.
And I will, I'll personally call him and let him know that I volunteered him.
Perfect.
Can I call him too? We'll have everybody just call him because we all volunteered.
Exactly, I love it.
That's what you get for not making the call, buddy.
Hey, listen, guys, thanks. That's awesome, man. You know, we've got the next 4 months set up for these 15-minute calls. And then what we want you guys to think about is, because we're running short on time right now, but we will have this as an agenda item for February when we talk, but coming up with some agenda ideas for our live meeting as well. And I know we've done a good job of, you know, when we sit in that meeting of just throwing some things on the board, which is great, and I love that format. But we might want to just think about some big ones that we can bring to the table for one of the 2 days that we're out there.
Yep.
So keep that in the back of your minds as well.
Because that's what we need. Go ahead.
I think we need another bowling competition. I think we're ready for the pro level.
We're pretty good. That's my team member. That's my teammate right there. Hey guys, and we always want to end these up, you know, and just if anybody's got a big win or something that they want to talk about to end the call, if anybody wants to throw something out there.
Well, somebody left.
Okay.
I guess they lost.
Okay. All right, so our next...
Hold on a second, Mike. Mike, you asked. I believe you had a win on the end of last month, if I recall. Something about CTAP and end-of-year sales, Mike?
Yeah, we did. We hit, for our first full year last year of really being in tech and pushing CTAP, we hit $338,000 at the right at the end. I mean, it was the last day of the year that we pushed through 2 deals through that got pre-funded, and Great America looks at a pre-funded job as a job that can count for that year. So we got it in. So we were pretty happy about that. Hats off to the guys here and my whole team, because we couldn't have been there without him, that's for sure. And the help of all you guys too. And
outstanding.
Thank you guys.
Nice. And what all did you get as a result of that?
I get to come out. I am coming out in March before our live meeting, and I'm taking that Wednesday and sitting with Dale Stein for the entire day, meeting with him in a sales management meeting, and then just sitting, going over financials, and then just sales concepts. And I also get a one-on-one financial on a monthly basis for the next year. And the best part, I received yesterday an $11,000 check in the mail.
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks. And again, thanks to all you guys in this group who have helped me so much, me and Joe, to get to this point. I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Nice. Well, congratulations, Mike.
Thanks.
I know how hard you guys have worked, so you and your team. So good job. Awesome.
All right.
All right. We'll
pretty good there.
Hey, next call will be February 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Harry can work with Mike and I to put together just a quick deck slide of probably 4 or 5 slides or something like that. Okay?
Go put some 50.
What I like about you, Harry, bringing it to the table. I love it.
Might as well do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great day or a great evening, and thanks so much for the call. We'll talk to you on the 11th.
Thanks.